Greetings, everyone. Welcome to Dorsey's Resource. First, as usual, before we get started, this video is for informational, educational, and entertainment purposes only. Please understand everyone's individual circumstance or situation may be different. It's up to every individual competent person to please do his or her homework and research regarding the matter being discussed. This information is not to be construed as legal advice. Any event you feel you need to seek a competent professional, it is encouraged you do so at one's own leisure. Dorsey's Resource Channel is not liable or responsible for any misuse of this information. With that said, these are simply my opinions. All rights are reserved. Now, the topic of this video I wanted to is going to be titled Research into Who the Cabal Are. I wanted to empower you all out there throughout the years. There are those, I've gotten many naysayers or people who simply have questions and want to find out. And this information is related to the TDA accounts, the banking system. It's all interconnected. Despite what you think, this information overlaps. And I want to say, I'm not trying to spook anyone. I'm not trying to scare you. This is high-powered information, but it's important. Reason why I keep going over these documentaries time and time again, but this time I'm going to go over a plethora of information. I see a couple of people in the chat. Chris Smith says, peace, Dorsey. Peace to you, Chris Smith. Thank you for joining. I see Trip in the chat. Keys from the Tree of Death says, what's up, bro? Peace to you, Trip. Welcome. Landon Jefferson says, hello, greetings. Thank you all for joining. So, I wanted to be before you guys not that long. Obviously, you already know. But I wanted to get into documentaries, and I might be jumping around. I have notes here with me. I want to try to stay on track. I'll try to get back to the chat to acknowledge you guys. Hopefully, I should have enough time to fit everything in. But I'm going to go over these documentaries. This is also Q&A. I'm not sure how many people I'm going to get. This is a work school night before we get into the holiday. Happy holidays to everyone as well, with Christmas coming up. So not sure for Tuesday night how many we're going to get. But you all are welcome to ask questions. Please check out these documentaries that I go over. It's going to really help unlock a lot of the information that I'm going to go over for you guys. I think I lost one of my bookmarks, so just bear with me. I'm going to jump ahead. Okay, check out, these are must-watch documentaries. One of them is called Money Masters. I've talked about this quite a bit, and it's related to another documentary. You may still be able to find these for free on YouTube. Of course, because of the censorship, YouTube is trying to remove them. This is tied in. What it will do, by the way, these documentaries go into the history. They will help explain to you the evidence. It will help you connect the pieces. A lot of people don't understand when they come across the TDA info or the secret account, and it's not a secret squirrel account. There's a gatekeeper out there that's claiming that this is fake. This is not real. This is definitely real, by the way. Turn this down. Okay, so with that said, check out Money Masters and Monopoly Men. Those two go kind of like hand in hand. Once again, you still might be able to find them on YouTube. Also, there's a documentary by a guy named Bill Steele. It's called The Secret of Oz, I believe. It's based off the connection of the movie Wizard of Oz. I don't want to spoil it for you all. I've already gone over that in a few previous videos, so some of you all might already know, but this high-powered information. On a side note, also, guys, you want to look up the National Debt Clock. Go to nationaldebtclock.org, and this will confirm. Take a look at the national debt. I have a document, and there's some others out there, because like I said, to reiterate, there's a gatekeeper. Naysayers will try to say this information isn't real. I have evidence. I have paperwork, as well as other people that I know. Solidified. This is a fact. Facts really matter, and I'm going over solidified evidence. And there's a document that I have. There was a congressional session where the Congress stated the American people backed the currency. Also, big shout out to the guys who commented in my Facebook Dorsey's Resource channel for my Facebook page. I can't remember the name. I did look up that information on the Trading with the Enemy Act, by the way. Kudos to you guys. I was aware of that, but I did not know the specific law. And some of you guys are aware this information is encrypted and coded in the statutes. Very similar. You check out the movie called National Treasure by Nicolas Cage, part 1 and 2. That will give you an idea that this so-called redemption information, the reason it's hard for people to process is because it's like unconventional, collegiate on the level of college universities, unconventional information, but it is real if you are aware and you're someone who's well studied, such as myself and others. And I'm at a certain level in this. There's people more advanced than I am. And it's not really a silver bullet or one size fits all. I mentioned, to reiterate before, the elites, the ruling class at the top of the pecking order, they have the silver bullet. They know the cheat codes, like a video game. They have the cheat codes or whatever. So just keep that in mind. But for us, I attended a private event some years ago where I was learning from the elite, and one in particular whose name I will not go over, but there was really a real event. I do have audios, as well as many other people that I know, and even people, subscribers I've talked to, have audios of that event. I won't say the name, and documents to prove that that was real. But the reason I didn't come back to that, on a side note, some people might question, they didn't want to teach me the rest of the information unless I signed an NDA. NDA stands for non-disclosure agreement or confidentiality agreement. And I gave my reasons as to why, and I can go into more details. Hopefully, if I'm able to get the Patreon account done down the road, I will be able to go a lot more in depth. Trust me on that. So for those out there who may be wondering, is this information conspiracy theory? No, there's a such thing as conspiracy fact. This is reality. This information is very credible. Don't listen to that gatekeeper trying to call this information a secret squirrel account. The name is not worth mentioning, and there's others that she's affiliated with that are claiming this is all made up, that this is a fairy tale. No, this is not a fairy tale. This is not an urban legend. This is I will say, I talk about the legitimate side of this information, by the way. There's a legitimate side. Everything is not a scam. Keep that in mind. And you have to question the fact that that individual that is trying to spook people not to look into this type of information, once you brainwashed, dumbed down on the statutory public side. And on the statutory side, she needs to go over how Equifax, TransUnion, Best Buy, the list, Target, the list goes on, had these data breaches. Wells Fargo Bank, remember they were in the news a couple years ago, people's social security numbers got out, by the way. So you have to question, why didn't she really spend a lot of time? That did way more damage than the SCs out there. That stands for sovereign citizens, by the way. And I don't never call myself by that name. I've never gone by that name. That is a derogatory term that they're trying to use. It's an umbrella term to try to label people that are waking you up, such as myself or others out there that do have credible information. I talk about the real side, the facts, the evidence, genuine evidence as to material fact, by the way. So let's be clear on that. They use that as an umbrella term to try to discredit the information. So they don't want, you know, people who are curious about this information, the left hand to know what the right hand is doing, and vice versa. They want to say, no, it's nothing over there. It's nothing over there. Look the other way. They just want you brainwashed. Okay. That's why they only talk about from one angle, like a one-sided angle, by the way. When you listen to these gatekeepers, these minions and these trolls, agents of the deep state, by the way, and they are agents, and they're mean-spirited, wicked people that want to keep us controlled. But there is a legitimate side, and it really deals with the private sector. This is another thing, that term, sovereign citizen, she uses SCs or whatever. So whenever you hear me say SC, because they claim because of the so-called censorship or whatever in the YouTube algorithm or whatever, they say SCs. But you have to question, why does Equifax, TransUnion, Experian, Wells Fargo Bank had data breaches where people's social security numbers got out? This did a lot of damage to millions of Americans, as well as other companies. Remember, Best Buy was in the news one year. Target was in the news. Many other companies, by the way, that do significant damage. You even have voter election fraud by the way, from people that, and I won't go into the details, but many stories of people who work in the public statutory side that have caused harm to innocent everyday U.S. citizens, including the IRS. A friend of mine pointed this out. So when she's trying to defame this information and call this a secret squirrel account, that this is not true, you know, it kind of sounds like a movie. She's a villain, by the way. I'm going to be straight up with you. Instead of gatekeeper, she's really a villain. By the way, me, myself, Money Boy, Midwest, kudos to those guys out there, the people who originally started in this, Extra Light, Triple Moore, Mike O'Brien, big shout out, Harvey Dent, all of us, we are the real ones. You know, we're breaking this down. We know the truth. So don't listen to that gatekeeper out there, by the way. So just keep that in mind. Okay, looks like somebody's trying to call me right now. I can't even actually see it. I'm gonna have to decline for the time being. Okay, they probably don't know I'm going live. By the way, interesting. So to get back on track, these documentaries, I went over Money Masters, Monopoly Men, Secret of Oz by Bill Steele. Also, if you get a chance, there's books involved. I got this book with me by William Shinoblin. Now, this is an unofficial book. This is not through any lodges or whatever. Here's the back cover. If you want to know the brief story, I had the original version of this book I had years ago was actually autographed by him. I had a relative who took me to a Bible Prophecy Club meeting, by the way, many years ago, where I met him in person and he autographed my book on the front cover on the inside. This is a newer copy I ordered some maybe a couple years ago off of eBay, because I loaned this to someone who I probably shouldn't have at the time, who I think was a Mason or traveling man. And because some of them, they act as gatekeepers in this, even women, like this is the Eastern Star logo. You'll see this emblem on the back of people's cars right here, by the way. Now, I'm not saying all, because I had some people that I know, friends, who were part of this order, the craft as they also call it. But this information, it goes hand in hand. It ties in and overlaps with this information that I'm going over. You see, why is no one out there talking about this stuff? And that minion who I was mentioning earlier that calls the TDA a secret squirrel account never shows their face, is hiding behind a pseudonym name and a fake account. So you're getting an actual person. I'm credible, because I'm showing my real face. I've given my real name in previous videos. I show them books, even in previous videos. I had one friend who was going to college in California, told me some years back. He said, you show books and stuff. You showing real evidence. I had people tell me this. So this means I'm more credible. This shows that I'm reputable. Okay, by the way, stop listening to some of these minions out there. And she's a villain, by the way, trying to convince you, trying to say that this account doesn't exist or didn't exist from the previous videos that I did. I just want you guys to know, I know many of you are awake to the truth, and kudos to you out there, by the way. So to finish going over these documentaries, one in particular, I went over, to reiterate, Money Masters, Monopoly Men. Also check out Ring of Power, Empire of the City. It was called Ring of Power, Empire of the City, and you can watch that documentary for free. It should still be on YouTube. It's called Ring of Power, Empire of the City. It was used to be, remember years ago before YouTube bought up Google Video, it used to be on Google Video some years ago, for you guys that still remember that. And then they kind of, I guess, combined everything and it got added into YouTube once, you know how the big corporations, gobble everything up, and they merged everything like one. So it's on YouTube now. You still should be able to watch it for free. So once again, it's called Ring of Power, Empire of the City. The reason these documentaries, if you have not watched them, they will connect the pieces and will give you the evidence. There's a lot of information you have to go over, just like private investigators, detectives do. You have police officers who don't spend time out in the field. All they do is they do research and they investigate things, material, to see if things are reputable or how credible it is. So, I obviously don't control who sees or views my YouTube channel. I have subscribers from all walks of life. So I try to be fair, but I might have some political videos coming on down the line, because it is one political party, I would say, that doesn't have as much integrity as the other political party, that is actually more biased, and they preach tolerance. This is part of political science. They want you to practice tolerance, but they're not tolerant themselves, by the way. It's like very hypocritical. It's like they want you to be a certain way, but they don't follow those same rules themselves. So yes, political stuff, I can break down, diffuse, and debunk this. You know, literally, there's so much evidence out there. And yeah, someone who just popped up I saw in the chat. I'm gonna get back to the chat, by the way. You can confirm. You know, I'm trying not to go there, but these documentaries and information will also help explain to you who the bad guys are. These are like in the movie, these are like villains. You have real villains in real life, wicked people. That also, some of them, these shields belong to different secret societies. And you have, I heard, Oprah Winfrey, for example, the same Oprah, by the way, I've been meaning to go in on Oprah for a while, who went in on Michael Jackson, my relative, by the way. I won't go into that. By the way, I did talk about this a while ago. A few people that know me personally that are subscribed to my channel do know how I'm related to Mike, by the way. But Oprah Winfrey out here is going after these people. Now, I'm not excusing saying what some of these men did, these brothers like Russell Simmons and others who was good friends. But I want to let you know, Oprah Winfrey and Hillary Clinton are not exempt from this. Oprah Winfrey has photos online with Harvey Weinstein. Very cozied up with Harvey. Look this up. Document this, by the way. Oprah Winfrey is trying to pretend or come out like she's some type of hero because she was like behind the Me Too movement with Ava DuVernay or whatever, that movie producer, and some other, the Time's Up with, you know, the other lady, I can't think, Tarana Burke or whatever, involved. Oh no, Oprah was part of this thing with Hollywood. If you know about Hollywood and the corruption, like Kevin Spacey, and the mainstream media, like, remember years ago, they reported when Sandusky incident, when that blew up, by the way. Notice they've been silent because this is one of the things that the Trump administration has been going after human traffickers, by the way, and busting up sex trafficking rings and other individuals involved. And the mainstream media, notice, it's been silent on that, by the way. The human trafficking, because recently, this kind of hits home. My younger sister was followed home by somebody in Detroit at a gas station. And I asked her the name of the gas station so I could find out, and she wouldn't give me the name. So I commented. I didn't know that she had left a Facebook post because I was contacted by my relative, by the way, who texted me. And I was concerned. Like, you know, I still have love for her, even though we're grown. We don't, you know, we live, you know, our own separate lives. But, you know, that's a weak move, by the way. And I had another friend who was very upset when he heard about that. So I said to my sister, please let me know if she is watching, or any of my relatives, let me know which gas station that is. Because if this is a guy that's a stalker who's going after other women or whatever, it can help catch this guy, whoever this person this is, this shady character, this weak character or whatever. That's because it's a lot of that's on the rise. I just saw a story on the news recently, on the local news, about a postal worker who knocked on a woman's door, asked to come in because she was being followed by a red van, and the lady had a camera, and it showed a red van pulled up, because a lot of these human traffickers use vans, I heard, or white vans. So this stuff is real out here. I'm gonna go over the real information that, and I'm gonna say it, the Democratic Party has been covering up and complicit with, not telling you about this human trafficking. These women, because they're seen as more nurturing by nature, or supposed to be soothing. But I want you to know, and to the women out here who follow me, you're going to have to wake other women up and let them be aware. But Hillary Clinton and Oprah Winfrey and others out there are part of the cabal. They don't have your best interest at heart. You've ever seen the movies where it's characters in the movie, they'll pretend to be the good guys? Because these people have a lot of wealth and money, by the way, currency. People oftentimes look up to them like it gives them, you know, like a free pass. But I want to say no. Oprah Winfrey, download the photos online. There's people, when that scandal with Weinstein came out, because remember, she's friends with Meryl Streep, who at one of the award shows, remember, Meryl Streep gave a big shout out to Weinstein, Harvey Weinstein. So it was stated that, allegedly, that Oprah was acting as bringing some of the women to Weinstein so she can move up. She used Michael Jackson, the interview and stuff years ago, to better her career. That's why Michael Jackson's immediate family was upset at her for, they feel like, turning on Mike when she teamed up with those guys to do the docuseries or whatever of that situation, and it backfired. Because Mike is so big, even still to this day, I still bump Mike's music. Have a lot of love for Mike. You know, I listen to all types of music, But it's like, come on now, Mike did a lot, and I say that like for another video. Mike did, he was bigger than life, and she went after him. So they're trying to come off, I think it's a feminism thing, where a friend of mine discussed they want power, and they actually are conflicting, or they got into a beef with the LGBT community, TQ, because they're vying for power to see who's on the top, similar to when at the Kavanaugh hearings, when Lindsey Graham said this is not about Christine Blasey Ford being raped or having compassion for her. This is about power, he said. And he said, I hope you all never get it, you know, by the way. So she's coming out, well, I heard, with a documentary or something about Russell Simmons, when she was connected close to all these people. You got to question that. I know for sure Weinstein, she's got photos with even former President Bush. And why is the people in the black community trying to question and make it appear as though, oh, these are good, meaning people that are adorable? No, it's more evidence out there than that. So I want to say to you guys on the record, yes, she may be very powerful, but she's not invincible as well as others out there. And a lot of these people were tied in with human trafficking rings. They're connected to politicians that brought drugs in the country, that are corrupt, etc. You guys know, and these documentaries I'm going over help explain these things, by the way. So I just wanted to show you guys this book. You can order this. Look up William Chernobyl, and I met him. The story behind him is he was part of the Illuminati. When he came out with his story, he debuted on a Bible Prophecy Club years ago, which they actually have a YouTube channel with Stan Johnson. And I'm not trying to get religious on you. I don't go to church anymore, but Christianity was still my foundation. So it gave me integrity, which implies honesty, loyalty, being a good, trustworthy, sincere person overall, being honorable, being humble. It's part of having integrity. But William Chernobyl came out as a whistleblower. He became a born-again Christian and exposed inside information into the occult, which is a Latin word term for hidden, but the rituals and stuff that they're involved with. He even explained about the Prince Hall Freemasons, which I found out, I looked into the history years ago, by the way, which Prince Hall was a slave, and he started the lodge for black people. That was a specific chapter. But years later, blacks were allowed to join specific lodges or whatever because they weren't allowed 2 years ago. So Prince Hall was known, if you look up the history, don't take my word for it, but he started one of the first lodges. He kind of touched on that in this book. And the Eastern Stars, which are women, by the way, and they can be very secretive by nature. That's why I went over Oprah and Hillary, by the way. So don't let the smooth taste fool you. Women are part of the cabal. You need to look into them, and also get the book by Fritz Springmeier called Bloodlines of the Illuminati. It's called Bloodlines of the Illuminati. These books go hand in hand. Get the book Codex Magica by Tex Mars. It will explain the evidence, the Masonic symbols. They put up the different hand gestures and with the different signs and codes and stuff like that. That's where the symbolism plays a part. You see, there's a science to this. And even private investigators, when the FBI was investigating Pizzagate, for example, and some of these pedophile rings, I found out they already have codes they recognize. Because I've seen a lot of stories on the local mainstream media and local news here in Michigan and other states about human sex trafficking, many stories throughout the years, by the way. And they have investigators who do nothing but research this stuff, by the way. So people that try to dismiss this as crazy or conspiracy theory, no, there's a factual side to this information. So don't believe that. Don't believe the hype. So to go over these documentaries, I'm gonna go into the chat after I go over some more of these documentaries. You want to check out this movie called Conspiracy of Silence. It was a banned documentary. You still should be able to find it on YouTube. Now, the video quality is kind of old. If you can put up with it, find the best copy you can. But look up Conspiracy of Silence. This was a ban. It was supposed to air on the Discovery Channel some years ago. Then it got banned at the last minute. This stuff ties in with like the Epstein stuff with Sandusky. It's all interconnected, even with Prince Andrew, which, you know, I was surprised to finally see the mainstream media now report on something real. I was watching Good Morning America one day, and I said, wow, I got to check this out with Prince Andrew. Really? And by the way, they're not telling you the royal family. I'll have to do a whole separate video how they killed Princess Diana, by the way, because she had a baby with the Egyptian prince's son or whatever, and was going to start a whole separate bloodline, and they took her out. She was ordered, I heard, allegedly by Prince Philip So they killed her, and the royal family over there, the British, they had ties to the Nazis, to Hitler, the queen and everything. So don't let the queen think she's innocent just because she punished Andrew because he was bold and came out what he said publicly. But they were connected to the Nazis and the Germans. And they remember it came out in the tabloids some years ago. There was a photographer that was punished. You have to look this up if there's any information online. But they wanted to find out who the photographer was that took old photos of them, members of the royal family, doing that salute. I won't do it, of course, but you know, connected to back during the time of Hitler. Their bloodline, they were close to them, to the Nazis, by the way. That's one thing. So that's why they're putting on a PR campaign with Prince William, the oldest brother that got married, his younger brother, what's his name? I forget his name in particular, but it may come back to me. You know, the one that's married to Meghan Markle. So they're putting on a public relations campaign to make themselves appear nice and good to the general public. But when you know to look into this information, these books and stuff, and their gatekeepers that work under them, and minions, and there's whistleblowers that have come out to expose this, by the way. Oh, thank you, Prince Harry. Yes, I was getting it mixed up. I was about to say another name, but thank you guys for paying attention. Appreciate you. I'm gonna get to the chat. By the way, this is high-powered information. I normally don't go over this much firepower, but this shows how very well studied I am. I'm not trying to brag, but I've looked at a lot of these documentaries for the most part.
6-9, all units, radio check.
Okay. Castleton. Turn that down. You guys already know, by the way. So, to finish reiterating, to get back, you have another documentary called Endgame by Alex Jones. It's called Endgame, not to be confused with the Cuba Gooding Jr. movie that Cuba Gooding Jr. did, by the way. Okay, stand by. When you get a chance, you can meet me at MSDS.
That's good copy.
Okay, so show you guys I'm limited for time. So I went over Endgame by Alex Jones. That's a powerful documentary, by the way. That goes over the Bilderberg Group. I won't spoil it for those of y'all who've never seen it. Conspiracy of Silence, by the way. My Alpha 21. That's another documentary. Alex Jones used to sell that on his website, by the way. That's an African word for Black Holocaust, called My Alpha 21. It's spelled M is in Matthew, A is in Allen, A is in Allen, F is in Frank, A is in Allen, the number 21. You still should be able to watch that for free on YouTube. My Alpha 21. Check out Fall of the Republic. Another important documentary, by the way. Check out Farmageddon. This deals with the food, agriculture, farming, you know, the genetic stuff, modification going on, called Farmageddon. Check out a documentary called Genetic Roulette. There's another documentary called Seeds of Death. There's another documentary called Scientists Are Under Attack. Now, Scientists Are Under Attack, you have to order that documentary, by the way. I believe you can't watch that for free on YouTube, but if you get a chance, you do have the money, as I said prior. Try to support these people. Many people have risked their lives to provide this information, to do the investigative research into this high-powered information I'm going over. So I'm going to go to the chat real quick before I shut things down, by the way, and I'm going to acknowledge you guys. Okay, I'm going to have to scroll up, so just bear with me. I'm going to have to go quick because I don't have, you know, too much time. I got my supervisors on site, by the way. So it says, okay, wow, we got a lot of people, some high-level Masons, says, wow, it's a lot of people chimed in. Okay, yeah, a lot of people. Okay, say, yep. All right, so starting from the top, Track Hollis says, what up? Peace to you. Triple, yes, it's snowing. Yep, it was snowing where we at earlier. Money Boy in the building, fam. Appreciate you, Money Boy. Go, guys, get a chance, subscribe to Money Boy's channel, Midwest. They're doing big work over there, talking about the TDAs. Also, Currency 365, by the way. Real legends never die. I like that quote that Currency 365 does with his channel. He goes over good information as well for those interested in the dinar cryptocurrencies. Money Boy in the building again. Big Trip. Chris Smith said Money Boy in the building. So we're gonna scroll down. Styles David, Pastor. You know, yeah, you know who. Keys from Death. He was speaking with the tribe, bro. I'm on it. Dorsey, hello. OG checking in. Larry Davis, peace to you. OG, original gangster. Wait, Tony is linked to Chief Hemmick in Mississippi. Dang, I don't know. I'm not sure. Okay, looks like they're having a conversation. Smash that like button. Yeah, family, let's get the like buttons up, y'all. It helps, you know, support the channel. Let the haters out there know, you know. Also, you guys are welcome to comment after the video ends in the comment section. If you like the work that I do, by the way. So appreciate that. Some high, M. Lawrence 06 says, some high-level Masons know the truth of the cabal. Styles Davis says Democrats. Keys from the Dev. We can get a party going. Just need a base. Someone says, "Well, you will need the shovel soon, OG." Okay, they have an inside conversation. What's going on, my brother Corey Haywood? What's up with you? Thank you for joining. Chris Smith says, "Yes, sir." Okay, says R. Kelly was a leader in the Midwest. Same time he was blowing up was the same time that Nexium was with Keith R. Keith R. Okay, I'm not sure who else he's talking about. Yeah, that Nexium. Yeah, they didn't. Mainstream media was silent about that Nexium quote. Now I did see the local media, WXYZ Channel 7, report on Allison Mack, and I found out she was the actor from the Smallville show. She was just lower in it. There was a lady who played guilty. But the mainstream media, MSNBC, Lester Holt, David Muro with ABC World News Tonight, because I pay attention to guys. Joy Bird, where y'all at? Y'all was silent on the Nexium cult. Also, Richard Branson, who had a private island, just like Epstein, he was up in that too, I found out, by the way. You see, these people are trying to pretend like, you know, Oprah Winfrey coming out like she's the angel savior. No. We're not giving you a free pass. That ain't it. And also remember, Oprah had that scandal at the school years ago. Remember that school she built, the all-girl school in Africa for the girls? By the way, that was, she had a molestation thing there. Remember, that's not by coincidence. So we can't give Oprah a free pass for that. You gotta, you know, I heard 50 Cent, the rapper, is digging up some stuff because he's not cool with that. You know what I'm saying? He feels like, and others, Oprah is betraying us, if you know what I mean, those of us out there. Zelda Thomas says they gave us their God. They are the mediator to follow their laws, taxes, commandments to get to heaven, but these rules don't apply to them. Yes, when you're dealing with the cabal, they have their own God they want to follow, but they're not invincible. You know, they are not invincible. I would expound more, but I'm limited for time. Got to get ready to go, so I'm going to try to read the rest of the comments. No, some of them are taking these kids. Yes, Corey, you correct. Dead men won't talk back. Yeah, dead men tell no tales. For Oprah, she is very powerful and very evil. People, OG out. Yes, thank you for confirming, Larry Davis. See, I'm not the only one who's saying it. Other people in the chat confirm. I need that. And also comment in the comment section after the video's uploaded. Corey Haywood just says, just black Mason gatekeepers. Yeah. You know, that's why I showed this book, by the way. You know, I could do a separate thing about the deep state. Now, I'm not saying I'm accusing everyone who's part of the craft, because they also call it the craft to keep it simple, or the order, by the way. But it's a pecking order. And there's other secret societies that rank above or higher, like Bilderberg, Council on Foreign Relations, Trilateral Commission, Club of Rome, etc. That, and like I went over the one with the women. Don't let the women smooth taste. You got women out here who are agents, who are gatekeepers, who try to pretend that they're nurturing. Don't let the smooth taste fool you. You know, watch out for that. You got to see that YouTube movie Thinning. Watch that. Check out that YouTube movie Thinning. I hope that part 3 was going to come out. I won't go into that, but check out part 1 and 2. Trip says, yes, exactly. Boule arise. It goes back to the Nimrod's day. Corey says, goes back to Baal worship. Yes, thank you for confirming. Money Boy says, facts. Thank you, fam. Says only conspiracy in their history. Yep, history, remember, it's his story. Their story they want you to know. You know, kind of like the fake news media. Don't want to report on everything. Only our black men are being displayed as the face of child abuse. So unfair. Yes, that is partially true. But they did, get on, and obviously Epstein, what happened with him and Weinstein was in the news again. So, some, don't want to just make it a black or white thing. But notice how Oprah and her friend Gayle King that works for CBS, they're just trying to paint the black men, or in particular, when it's, rich men real high up. I'm not trying to make it a racial thing, but just Hollywood is just corrupt. When you look at this, it's been involved, and don't let a lot of these women are involved in this that are trying to pretend to be innocent, by the way. They're not good. So you need to, that's why I went over these books and these documentaries, by the way. M. Loris 06 said, this is some good info. Yep, thank you for confirming. Corey Haywood says, Ashkenazi Jews, the Balfour Declaration of 1917. I'm not familiar with that, by the way. Thank you for adding that in. It says, those so-called royals are Anunnaki reptilian shape shifters, which is how and one reason they are connected to Hitler, who is contactee. Notice how these royals outlive. Yeah, I would say Rico, Shango, go more in depth. Like refer people to the book Children of the Matrix by David Icke. I won't go in because some stuff is too explicit, like what they do with the rituals. I read this in the book, not only when the Pizzagate scandal came out on YouTube, remember that broke out a couple years ago, and that was real, by the way, with the Comet Ping Pong Pizza down in the DC area and some other place. By the way, there was truth to that, and how when investigators went down there, they removed photos in the restaurant, changed stuff around. By the way, but not none of the silly stuff like where this guy showed up and said where the children at. They try to put shields in there on purpose to make people think that people who mention this are conspiracy theorists are crazy. By the way, I just wanted to throw that in to clarify. I go over the legitimate information, by the way. And as you guys obviously see, I work in a form of law enforcement, lower level, I would say, by the way. So you're getting reputable information, and I'm not hiding behind a fake account. Like this gatekeeper minions and many of them out there that they want to claim they're credible but never show their face. It's funny. Rainier Corey says, yes, sir. Oprah is foul and placed to control black women, women, and black men. Rico Shango says, yes, but I'm also a contactee, which makes me a TI. I'm not sure what you are referring to on that. I don't have the time to interpret that, but if you don't mind, Rico, explaining what you mean by that comment, I would just, I've limited for time. By the way, if you could explain that. Corey says the Balfour Declaration is on YouTube as well, my brother. You get a chance, check it out. Okay, appreciate that. The Balfour Declaration, I have to remind me, make sure you leave a comment if you want to contact me for serious inquiries only. Do not leave your telephone number, by the way. I have to screen people out for that. I have vetting process. I have to vet people because there's a lot of agents out there, shields, gatekeepers, minions, underlinks who don't have our best interest at heart. You can reach me at Dorsey's Resource 2017. That's at gmail.com. And that is, many people are using Gmail nowadays. So Gmail is a professional email account, despite what individuals out there trying to claim. Gmail is a professional. I have multiple email accounts, but that is for this particular YouTube channel for inquiries, questions, and give me time to get back. It's Dorsey's Resource 2017 at gmail.com. Dorsey's Resource, all is one word, the number 2017 at gmail.com, by the way. Corey says, for sure, just trust your instincts. All right, thank you for joining, guys. Feel free to subscribe to me. I'm on YouTube, obviously. Hit the notification bell so whenever I put out new videos or updates, you will be notified by YouTube in the upper right-hand corner, by the way. Or if you're logged in through your smartphone, you'll see the notification will pop up whenever I go live, by the way. So don't forget, if you hit the subscribe, click the notification bell. You can follow me. I'm on minds.com, by the way, as well. Rico says, can you repeat your email? Yes. My email is Dorsey's Resource 2017 at gmail.com. Just how I spell the channel, but just add the number 2017 at gmail.com. Zelda says Oprah is a handler. She has work in order to keep on, which on, is New World Order spelled backwards, by the way, which is symbolic. I won't have time, but as I'm shutting things down, I gotta go, guys. I appreciate you all for joining me. Once again, high power, action-packed video. Once again, you can follow me on Facebook at Dorsey's Resource. I'm on Twitter at Dorsey's Resource. Obviously on YouTube at Dorsey's Resource. And I'm also on minds.com, by the way. Let's work on building up other social media platforms so YouTube doesn't have a monopoly. That's how we restore the power back to we the people, by the way. So thank you guys once again. Until next time, I'm your host, John Dorsey. Deuces. Peace.